Welcome to this week's edition of The Passion of the Digital Artist. And here he is, that passionate tradigital artist himself, Jeff Mueller.
Why, thank you, Xavier.
Thank you, Jeff. How are you?
It's good to be back. I'm doing well, as always, right?
Yeah. There's very few times when you're not doing well. You're one of the most positive guys I know.
By the way, this is my partner in crime, Xavier.
Good evening, folks.
And if any new people, I'm Jeff Mueller, aka Computer Art Man, and this particular video blog, we're going to talk about my ongoing project. I have been doing a 1-year light study of the North Canton Water Tower. Now, we've video blogged about this. The reason why I decided to do this is early on. The tower, for my whole life, it's on the way to coffee in the morning, and I had always seen it, and this particular tower is, you can check it out. The shape is very dynamic. It's a modern water tower. It's not what I was used to growing up when I grew in Wisconsin. And it's also the way it's painted. It's painted, and that's something that we're going to talk about tonight. But for the general, what would you say? Talking about the color, you would say that it's a light blue with a little bit darker light blue stripes on the tower. And this tower, the way it's painted, I've always noticed has blended in with its natural settings. It's on top of a hill. You can see it, the project there. It's on Facebook. It's called 52 Shades of Blue, a 1-year light study. That is our group. We have 300. What we're doing we passed the 100 days left. Today is day 269. 269, leaving us with 96 more days, and I made a commitment that I'd get to day 265, and then those last 100 days I was going to do the marketing and the legwork and the pushing of all the things that I've set up, so that on day 365 I'm ready to edit and start creating the painted part of the artwork, start preparing the photographic part of the artwork. And the reason why it's called 52 Shades of Blue is because it's a 1-year study, and we're going to pick from the thousands of pictures that I've taken from the daily photo shoots, maybe once or twice a day, sometimes whatever the day kind of dictates, I do. We're going to pick the 52 best, creating 26 pieces of painted art and 26 painted of limited edition photos that are associated with this. But there's so much more that's going to happen with this project. There's the Facebook page is 52 Shades of Blue. You can go there, 52 Shades of Blue, a 1-year light study of light. Go there, follow it, follow or like the page. And every day, the best of the best that I posted on Instagram gets posted on this particular Facebook page. You can stay up with it. Now, if you're liking what you're seeing, then you can go and become a part of the group. All you have to do is ask or find somebody. But this is 52 Shades of Blue, a 1-year light study. This is a place where I pretty much post all the photos, and I talk about the project with the people who really, once you're part of the group, you understand what the project has done. The main thing that the project has done for me and a lot of people is when you photograph and make a commitment to photograph something every day for a year and pay attention. Now, I did go on vacation and miss a couple days, but overall, every day that I possibly can take a picture of this water tower and I'm around, I take a picture. I take the same picture definitely every day, but then what I've done is gone around in a 360-degree radius and found different angles and views. And what you start to do is you start to appreciate that it's not the tower. The tower is something that some people take as obtrusive or a scar on the land. But this particular tower becomes part of the land. And when you start to take pictures, you realize that you start to even question what color the tower is, because when you're shooting it at sunrise, it's pink, orange, and yellow. And when you say and at sunset, a lot of times it's purple, pink, orange. It's always changing colors. On a bright day in the summer with the sun straight above, the shadows one way. When we're in these longer days and it's 12 o'clock and the sun is off to the side, the blue is never ever consistent. It would almost be impossible to understand what color this tower is. And there's moments in the morning when there is maybe a 25-second window, and out of nowhere comes this orange sky that reflects onto the tower, turning the tower orange, changing it to a color that beauty is unbelievable. And then this morning when I was photographing it, the sun, I normally when I photograph the sun with the tower, it causes reflections, and it causes a glare. But for some reason this morning with the tower in the position that it was, and I've shot it many times from that angle, the sun looked like it was on fire. So all of a sudden you have this magical picture of the sun looking like it's actually physically on fire. Now, the sun is on fire, but to photograph that and have that depicted is a whole different ballgame, because when we look at the sun, we don't see a ball of fire. We see a bright light.
The sun is on fire in its atmosphere,
right.
But what you're saying is it looks like it's on fire in our atmosphere.
Yeah. Right, from the thing.
So
just a very cool thing. So you find out that this commitment, you understand, one, that anytime that if you're ever going to do another painting besides the water tower, and I'm going to, if you do this other painting, there are so many days that to capture the beauty, because when you're doing it 360, you find there's probably at least 52 days where you capture some amazing beauty of nature that is reflecting onto this tower, which then makes you start to think about, well, when I grab this picture, when I go and get this reference for this painting, how am I'm grabbing it, but I'm assuming that's the best it can be. But in reality, there's probably a lot of other times that you could really put some time and effort in and actually capture it in its beauty at the best time. And the time you were there, the odds that the first time you ever saw this, that's going to be the best it's going to be, is probably wrong. So that's something I learned from this project.
You were also discussing your observation, and you left a segue for us there with the planet and the astronomical effects on your photographing.
Right. I've learned something astronomically, is that when I always thought as the days got longer that it was like an equal more, you gain a minute in the morning, a minute at the end of the day, but that's not how it is. Since January 1st, when I've been really paying attention to the sunrise time and the sunset, we've gained about we've gained about 21 minutes on the PM side and only 7 minutes on the AM side. It was 7:48 and now it's 7:41. So you're not gaining as much time in the morning as you and as fast as you gain it as you are at the end of the day. And that's important to me because I'm basically photographing the tower on the way to work in the morning. And right now it's a little bit later, the actual sunrise is a little bit later than the time I have to get to work. So I'm catching a lot of pre-dawn and dawn shots, and then I'm off of work and I'm usually able to get the sunset because I have time to get the sunset based off of when I leave work. So it's been really kind of a unique experience for me. So I've learned a lot as far as how to understand time of year, angle of the light, and what it's doing to the actual tower and how it makes it blend in. And it's just it's pretty spectacular.
Is it more difficult to photograph in the fall and winter when, though it's colder because the earth is tilted away, it's actually closer to the sun and the sunlight is so much more intensive? You notice fall, autumn, and winter driving in the morning, the sun seems so much more intense than it does in the spring and the summer. Does that play into your ability to capture the image that you want?
No, actually, the cooler. What I've noticed that the colder air adds, it's a more clarity, and it's not as thick as some of the summer. When it's humid, you almost get like a foggy kind of softer, kind of almost like a filter on the pictures. Whereas right now, it's just straightforward, in focus. The light is,
the air is clear and
right,
crisp.
Yeah, so that's something that you notice. So, but what I'm not worried too much about the difficulty. I'm just trying to document the light at the time, because there's a lot of, you run into like some mornings, sunrise is supposed to be on Saturday, I think it was supposed to be 7:43, and I was there at 7:43, and it wasn't sunrise yet because there was a bank of clouds. Over the tower was blue and whatever. It was delayed about 15-20 minutes when you're talking about the sunrise actually peeking over the top of the clouds and changing the color of the tower. Whereas there's some mornings it's crystal clear and it's coming right at the time it's supposed to come, and then there's other mornings when it doesn't even show up. But what happens is it shows through the clouds, and you get this bright red, orange thing that's happening in the clouds, and there's an angle I can always shoot that tower, getting those special colors. So we went into a lot of detail on this one. We're going to keep talking about it. The next video blog we're going to talk about, now we got the Facebook page, we got the Facebook group. You should try and join that. I'll put links to both of them underneath on YouTube, so you can click and join. And then also what's coming up is we're going to talk about the social media aspect of what's happening with it, the people that I'm dealing with who are really following the project and understanding light with me, that they can't believe that this tower changes so many different colors. And then also we'll be talking about the Kickstarter program. The Kickstarter program that by the 50th day, so right now I'm 46 days away before I'm going to launch my Kickstarter program, which will be a 50 or whatever, how many days, and I'm going to try and get some funding, because we're going to want to produce some books, we're going to want to produce some prints, we're going to want to, this Kickstarter program is going to be pretty exciting, because there's going to be artwork that's created from this project just for the Kickstarter project. So we'll see what happens there. See if we can do what we need to do with that. So this whole project is definitely a really kind of a cool project, and it's a learning experience on so many different levels, but hopefully it's also a learning experience for other artists out there, so that they can understand how social media can interact with your project, and how Kickstarter can be a part of your project, and how you can maximize your minimized efforts.
Very good.
So that's it with that. I'll leave you. I'm gonna definitely we'll have some of the towers stripped in, but we'll go right here. Let's see what happens. That's 50. Let's see. This is a pretty good one from.
Ooh.
Here's a nice one from today. That was this morning.
And it looks anything but light blue. It looks
right,
orange.
Orange, and that's a pretty accurate shot of what was happening this morning. And then if you look at this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see it, but the ball of fire around there, it was like, I couldn't believe it.
It looks like the sun is perched on the Earth's horizon and there's flames coming off of it.
Right, and so that was just, those were the couple great shots from this morning. And there it is, you can see the yellow of the hitting it, and then also then the shadows, you can see that it's the, but like I said, what color is it at this point? Is it truly blue? You never.
Or, if you weren't there to photograph it, would it even be there?
Exactly. Yeah. Not for me, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's an excellent answer.
But that's the Waterpower Project, 52 Shades of Blue. That's what we got. Anything else?
No, awesome job, Jeff.
Yes.
Have a good week.